Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of Top 10 Songs. Today, in the co-captain's chair for this episode on Metal Church is none other than Jack Toledano. Good morning, my friend. How are you?
Very good. How are you, Pete?
Doing all right. Sunday,
Sunday, it's Mother's Day. And
Mother's Day.
I just like to start out by wishing a very happy Mother's Day to my mother, Elena, pronounced Elena in Italian, and my wife, Susan. Like to wish to all my cousins, sisters-in-law, aunts, friends and coworkers, around the world. Happy Mother's Day.
That's true. Same for my mother, Kathy, and my wife, Evelyn, and all the other mothers out there. Even though like 95% of the people who watch this channel are all men, but we still have some women who watch this channel. So, and all the men can hopefully, wish the ladies in their lives, the mothers in their lives,
Yes.
happy.
So the ladies watching, very happy Mother's Day.
There you go.
So this picture behind me, I tried to show it on my phone yesterday, and I had terrible lighting in my room, so it came out as like almost as if I was shining a flashlight at everybody. So I decided to upload it so that everybody could see it this morning. So
I almost, if you're not paying too close attention, I'm just kind of like concentrating on you. I almost see the water moving in the background, especially over your left shoulder. I'm guessing it is the opposite side of the sticks coming out of the water. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So this will be my background for today.
There you go.
Talking about Metal Church.
There you go. So, so Metal Church, a very cool band that debuted in the early 80s. Call them traditional American metal, call them power metal, call them thrash metal. They kind of do a little bit of everything. They're one of those U.S. metal bands that are kind of hard to categorize, and that's quite all right because they're just a really great metal band. Of course, we've had main man and riff master and songwriter Kurt Vanderhoof on the show quite a bit in the past. And this has always kind of been his baby, although he did step away from the band for a few years back in the later 80s. But a lot of really good songs. We're going to start off with a top 10 song show today, and then Jack and I are going to come back in a couple of weeks. We're going to rank the catalog. So 10 tracks. I have one honorable mention at the end. I could have done a million. I wanted to kind of keep it kind of short because there's so many great songs, but I'll have Jack kick us off with his number 10.
Okay. So, basically, Metal Church is a band that I didn't really know as well as, say, when Pete asked me to do Iced Earth or Primal Fear or Hammerfall. I didn't know these guys as well, so I had to research a bit, but it was a very fun task because I really got to know these guys and some really, really powerful, songs in their arsenal.
Yep.
So we're going to go right to number 10. This one comes from the album in 1991, The Human Factor. And also, it's very interesting, the fact that there's 3 vocalists over the course of their history. But this one is with Mike Howe. It's the song Date with Poverty. Good song. Nice groove in that. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Very, very good song.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this album, actually.
And
I was like, I think I have a few of their CDs in my car because I could not find them on the shelf. So they're missing in action there somewhere.
Well, we're going to get into their status on Spotify in a little while as well. But
okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So, cool or not so cool, probably. Probably not so cool.
Well, I guess I'll tell you. So it's like their first few albums, which are great albums, they're on there. Then about the middle of their catalog, a chunk of the middle of their catalog is missing. So then the end of their catalog from about 2013 or 2014 on is back on Spotify.
Yeah, I wonder if it has something to do with the record labels they were on, like in the 90s and the early 2000s.
I think so, yeah. And it seems like it coincides with Ronnie Monroe's, stay with Metal Church also.
Yeah, because he was with the band for, God, I think 3 or 4 albums. And that's probably all right in within this time that we're talking about here. So,
yeah.
Good singer. 3 great singers in this band.
Oh, yeah. No doubt.
So speaking of Ronnie Monroe, so my number 10 is going to be from one of the albums that he appeared on. The first one, actually, The Weight of the World. The song is called Leave Them Behind. I really like the production on this album. It's big and beefy. The guitars have massive amount of crunch. I love the shifting kind of riffs of this particular track. You got some really cool, Kurt Vanderhoof is mostly known as the guy who creates the riffs and more of a rhythm guitar player. But here you got, there's some cool like harmony guitar parts on here as well. Drums are big and heavy, and I think Ronnie sounds great on vocals. He kind of, if you listen to those albums, he kind of sounds a little bit like Rob Tornillo from Accept, a little bit.
Yes,
time, right?
I noticed that, and I also noticed a little Biff Byford from Saxon at times.
Yeah, you're not far off. Yeah, Ronnie's a good singer. He was a good fit for this band. But for me, though, there is one guy who stands head and shoulders above all when it comes to vocalists in this band. We'll get to him, I'm sure, in a minute. But back to you for number 9.
Oh, Pete, your 10 is my 9. Leave them behind.
There you go.
But yeah, it's a great song. Not much more can be said about it other than what you said. I just love the chugging rhythm of that song and very catchy.
Yeah, it's a good busy song to kick off that album. It's a pretty strong album from them, actually.
Right.
So, my number 9, we're going to go to Human Factor. I can't find my CD, and it's got to be in the car, is my guess. But Human Factor, another really good album. In Mourning is my favorite. Is my number 9 from that album. I really like when metalchurch do these kind of like mid-paced, moody, atmospheric. You don't want to call them power ballads because they're not, but the band definitely like kind of kicks it a little back a notch. It's no less heavy, but it's just kind of the songs are slower. This particular one got a big crushing riff, but it's like I said, it's a little bit slower, atmospheric song. Mike Howe, what a great singer. Sounds fantastic on this particular song. And there's a lot of really good songs on this album. And we'll get to another one in a couple of minutes, but that is In Mourning. I had like 4 songs from this album I wanted to pick. I'm like, well, can't do that. You only got 10 slots. So, but In Mourning is my number 9. Really good song.
Okay, so number 8. This song actually originated on the album Hanging in the Balance in 1993, but I went for its more updated version. So they released an album called I'm sorry, I'm reading From the Vault.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
20, yeah. And this is Conductor Redux.
Yeah,
good one. Really good. And that's something we're going to have to talk about, whether we want to include that album, because I think there's some really strong cuts from there. And
yeah, I mean, you got like 3 new tracks on there, which are really good. Right. And then you got the couple live tunes and the re-recorded. Yeah, I mean, I personally like that album a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's like one of those tweener albums. Like, do we include it? Do we not include it?
Right.
But yeah, and I totally forgot about that song. That's a great track.
Yeah.
It's not on my list.
We are going to be talking about that album again in a few numbers.
There you go.
Right.
All right, my number 8. I'm going to go to the Blessing in Disguise album, which I'm a big fan of. Fake Healer, the kickoff track. Again, another band that has really good opening tracks on a lot of their albums. I mean, here it's all, and this is an album. So Kurt Vanderhoof had left the band for a couple albums at this point. So you got John Marshall. I actually saw them live with John Marshall opening up. I think they opened up for Metallica, if I'm not mistaken. But this song is all about these huge John Marshall riffs and Mike Howe's soaring vocals. It's so heavy. It's energetic. Like I said, it's kind of thrashy, but it's like this groovy, US power metal, traditional metal, whatever the hell you want to call it. It's just great. I love the production on this album. I'm a big fan of this. Terry Date produced this album. Actually, Terry Date, of course, worked with Rush all those years. So that's my number 8.
Okay, very nice. Even when he wasn't in the band, didn't he stay behind and like produce and
he wrote some songs, he did some producing, he would play a little guitar here. Now he was there, he was kind of on the periphery, but but he was not a full-fledged acting member of the band and touring member and all that kind of stuff. Right. But then he came back not that long afterwards. But
okay, so moving.
I'm sorry, Terry Date did not produce Rush. I'm thinking Terry Brown. Sorry, it's the whole Terry thing. It's early in the morning, guys. Sorry.
I know. Getting ready for Mother's Day.
I know, right? Yeah. So
anyway, my number 7, and this is a more recent album. XI or 11 in Roman numerals, I believe it is. Yes. And there's one track that really stood out for me, Needle and Suture.
Oh, great one. Yeah.
Yeah. I just love that chugging rhythm, that frenetic pace of the drums. It's, yeah.
I almost picked that song.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the 11 album, or XI, whatever you want to call it.
That's
And
one of their more thrashy numbers that I really like.
Yeah, that's quite good. That's quite, I dig that one quite a bit. Where are we? Number 7?
You're up to 7, yeah.
Okay, cool. So let me just find the CD here. All right, so my number 7 is going to be off of The Dark, which is their second album here. Over My Dead Body.
Nice.
Really heavy.
Good song.
Rampaging track. Love Kirk Arrington's drums on this. David Wayne, their first singer, who could do those high-pitched screams quite well. In addition, he's just all over the place on this song, and a lot of good tracks on here. But that's one of my favorites. Another one I think I like it a little better.
Oh yeah, no question. Yeah,
good one. And this one, I'm trying
that little cowbell in the middle there.
Oh yeah, which is pretty good. Yep. So that's my number 7, Over My Dead Body. Good. I think they played that live a bit or two over the years.
That would be cool. Yeah. Okay, so my number 6, that and there was some shuffling going on at the last minute. I pulled some out, and this actually got bumped up to number 6. This is again on From the Vault. I fell in love with this song, the opening track, Dead on the Vine. Really good song.
Yeah, that's quite good.
Excellent.
Yeah, good choice.
Good
choice. I mean, there's so many good tracks here. You could have easily done 20.
I was out walking at this picture that you're seeing. This is an actual park down on the South Shore of Long Island, and I was walking, and I was playing my Spotify on shuffle, and that song came on, and I'm like, I had to stop and look to see where I could find it, and yeah.
Hey, Jack's always working. He's like, all right, it's like, gotta
always thinking. Well, I love what I do, Pete.
What's that?
Yeah. I said I love what I do for Sea of Tranquility. So
there you
gotta enjoy it.
It's all about the music, right? So.
Yep.
My number 6, you have already mentioned, from The Human Factor, Date with Poverty.
Nice.
So good.
Very cool.
So good. Love that riff at the beginning. Just absolutely kills. Mike singing up a storm. And man, what a groove on that song too. That song kind of moves and shuffles and gets your blood pumping. And
so good. Really, really cool. Yeah.
So good. So yeah, that had to be on here somewhere. So that's my number 6.
Okay. So 5 down to 1. It's going to be their more their older stuff, their more core stuff that we've known and loved about metalchurch. So my number 5 comes off of The Dark, Watch the Children Pray. I don't think we need to say much more about that. It's just very melodic, almost sounds like an Iron Maiden song, like a la Children of the Damned kind of thing.
Well, that's what I was talking about before, that kind of mid-pace, like moody stuff. They do those very well. And I hated myself for not being able to fit it into my top 10, because that is a really good song. That's a great choice. Yeah, that's one of my favorites from this album as well. So good choice. And again, I'm going to go back to that album. So I'm going to go with the title track, To the Dark, Lean and Mean, right? Because I'm shaking.
Okay.
Something evil lurking, waiting for me in the dark. I mean, it's just such a great chorus. You could listen to it over and over. He's like, David Wayne is like snarling. It's so awesome.
Right.
And kind of that brooding, heavy, metal that these guys do so well. And those first 2 albums are so great. So yeah, The Dark, title track.
Yes. Yeah, we're going to be tapping into The Dark quite a bit. So my number 4 is also off of The Dark. Excuse me. This is one of my favorite tracks. Again, it's a very mid-pace, more of a standard metal song, not so much thrashy. Method to Your Madness, another great song.
Yeah, it's quite
That's
good.
My 4.
It's quite good. I like that one a lot. My number 4, I'm going to go back to the first album, First appearance of the Gibson Explorer on the cover for Beyond the Black. Another great
Nice.
opening track. I mean, this album is just absolutely crushing. I had to stop myself from including, half of these songs on my list because I'm like, all right, we got a lot of great songs and great albums. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
Beyond the Black, amazing, love it, so heavy, man. The guitar tone on that album is killer.
Yeah.
That's my
Oh, but that Beyond the Black, if you're it's the first time you're ever hearing them, and that is like such a great introduction to the band. Yeah. That menacing sound, but
so good,
yet
so good.
correct. Yeah. Okay, so but on to number 3.
Yep.
Okay, so my number 3 is from that debut album, and it actually is the song Metal Church. So not knowing Metal Church, going back maybe a couple of years ago. So before I started getting into Spotify and some of the other, software that you can, streaming services, I was an avid listener of XM Radio and Ozzy's Boneyard. And there's 2 particular songs that they would play that kind of introduced me to Metal Church. And this was one of them. So
I'm amazed they played any Metal Church on Ozzy's Boneyard.
no, but there's 2 in particular. Actually, it's going to be my 3 and my 2. But,
oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't listen to XM Radio for that long. I had it for maybe like 2 years, but I don't remember ever hearing Metal Church on there. But,
I'm kind of off.
Is good Metal Church.
It's starting to become like another one of those, FM rock radio channels where they play the same shit all the time. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, my number 3, I'm going to go back to Blessing in Disguise for Anthem to the Estranged. Again, another one of those moody, epic sounding numbers, big riffs, right? But it's not this fast-paced, thrashy song. Mike Howe off the charts, but the riffs are really intelligent, and they're just they hook you in. I love these kind of songs from this band, and we're going to hear another one next. But yeah, and it's all Anthem to the Estranged, if I'm not mistaken, is also on the Vaults CD, right? Isn't there a live version of it on there, if I'm not mistaken?
I believe there is.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
yeah.
really good. But yeah, I love the studio version as well. So
I'll have to go back and listen. Yeah.
My number 3, great song, Anthem to the Estranged.
Okay. So my number 2 is off of the album Blessing in Disguise, and this is probably the first song that I've ever heard on XM Radio that introduced me to Metal Church, Badlands.
Yeah, that's a great one. Wow, so they play that on Ozzy's Boneyard? Whew, I'm surprised.
Yeah, believe it or not, yes. Wow. That is how I got to know them. And I'm like, wow, these guys are really good.
Yeah.
I love that melodic opening. And then, and then it goes, and then, right into it.
Yeah, so that's another one that I contemplated for this list. I mean, I really, for me, the first 3 albums are so amazing. Excuse me. And it's hard just not to draw the entire list from those 3 albums, but I wanted to give some love to some of the other albums because, I mean, they have a lot of really great tracks. So, but in saying that, my top 2 are going to be from the same album. Oh, what's up?
Oh, okay. But that was my introduction to Mike Howe, to that song Badlands.
Great singer. He's so good.
Yeah.
Gods of Wrath from the second album. Again,
okay,
like big, lengthy, epic, mid-paced. This is actually, you listen to this whole album, and this is a pretty heavy-hitting, fast-paced album, and that is like kind of like the different. They throw one of these kind of tracks on almost every album, and I love when it's the same thing. We talked about Iced Earth a while back. I love Iced Earth's. We're not going to get into John Schaefer and all his nonsense these days.
The politics.
I love the Iced Earth, moody kind of, atmospheric, like melodic songs. I love when these guys do them as well. I mean, Gods of Wrath is just a killer chorus, great David Wayne vocal. Again, it's kind of like a power ballad, but not, right? It's not like a power ballad like a glam metal band does. It's more like if a real true classic metal band does some sort of like melodic ballad. This is so successful. I absolutely love Gods of Wrath. Love the vocals, love the guitars. The whole second half of the song is killer, and it's nice and atmospheric. So that's my number 2.
All right. So drum roll. But even before the drum roll, I was going to say that my number one, I was actually contemplating putting it on my metal mixtape like a week ago, but I'm like, nah, if I do that, it'll give it away. So, and even in this half an hour session that we're having, I didn't give it away because I love this song so much and I wanted to be a surprise to everybody. Back to the Dark, Over My Dead Body.
Yeah.
That's my number one.
Yep.
Love that song.
It's a great one. It's a great one.
Yeah.
No,
and that wasn't planned. I mean, I thought number 3 and number 2 were going to be my number one, but worked out that I like this one even better when I heard it.
Yeah, it's a great song. I mean, that's easily, if not the best, one of the best songs on that album. I mean, The Dark is really strong. It's really strong.
Right.
Good choice. Good choice. All right. My number one was when I sat down to do this list, I was like, all right, I know exactly what's number one. And I put it right there. No questions asked. This was easy. Again, it's from that the debut album, with that big, huge production. You mentioned Terry Date, was working on this album with them as well. The title track, Metal Church.
There you go.
I mean, Kurt, if you're watching, that picking hand of yours must have been going like a million miles an hour. I love it. It's just, as close to thrash as this band got. Just killer riff. I love David Wayne's just absolutely shrieking, menacing vocals on this. It's so, so heavy. And there's something to be said about like completely kicking your ass on a debut album with Beyond the Black and right into Metal Church. I mean, does it get much better than a 1-2 punch than that? And then Merciless Onslaught comes after that, which is great too. And then you got Gods of Wrath where they slow it down a bit.
Gods of Wrath,
the other tracks. And even though I think their cover of Highway Star is kind of cool, I would have rather heard another original tune because it seems like everybody's covered Highway Star. But I remember when that album came out, I was totally into that. Totally into it. So yeah, Metal Church is my number one.
Wow. So did you actually listen to these guys when we were back in New Paltz, or did you know about them then?
Oh yeah. I bought their debut album when it came out, and I saw them. I saw them live a bunch of times. I saw them. Well, like I said, I saw them open up for Metallica at the Middleton Civic Center. I saw them. I saw them at Sundance a couple times.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah, it was those 2 summers where I lived at Sundance. I was living in Holbrook, and I was at Sundance every weekend. And but I haven't seen them in quite a while.
Wow.
I don't think I've seen them since.
I almost saw them once. So Todd Goodstein, a friend of ours through Steve Fleck, and we all hung out many years ago. But Todd and I went to the show at what was it? Oh, here comes Miley. We went to an Orange County Speedway show. Orange County. No, I'm going to shut the door. Excuse me. So there was a show at Orange County Speedway. Sydney mentioned Alice Cooper yesterday. He was there, but the headliner was Judas Priest. But also on the show was Motorhead was supposed to be there. Metal Church and Dangerous Toys, I believe, was the other one.
Dangerous Toys. What a weird fit for that lineup. Whew.
Yeah. But so Motorhead, they couldn't be there because Lemmy broke his leg. So he was out. And this was at a time where I was, somebody made a funny comment yesterday asking you why you were drinking out of a vase.
This is not a vase, people. This is called a tumbler, right? You put drinks in this, you got a cover on it. It's got the sippy thing. I choose to not do with the sippy thing because the hole's not big enough and not enough water comes out. But yes, this is my Deep Purple in rock tumbler. Anyway, back to your story. So Motorhead didn't play.
Oh, if you can see mine, it's Let's Go Mets.
Which they won last night.
Yeah, they did. But topic for another day. But so at that concert, unfortunately, being a young father, I had some responsibilities and I had to miss the first couple of bands. So I only got to see Alice Cooper and Priest that night.
Oh, so you missed Metal Church. That's too bad. Yeah, good live band.
Yeah.
Yeah, they played like once or twice in Poughkeepsie, like in the last like 5 years, and I didn't get a chance to go to either show because I had something else going on or whatever. But I will definitely try and catch them next time around, whenever that next time around might be, because we're still not back in concert land yet. So, but apparently things are opening up, so we'll see. Do you have any honorable mentions?
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, let me just unlock my phone. I'll get. So my number 11, I tried to fit it, but I couldn't. It was Beyond the Black. My number 12 is Of Unsound Mind, off of Blessing in Disguise. Out of Balance, that's another one. Spell Can't Be Broken, and Jump the Gun. So that's about 5 for you.
Yeah, all good ones. Yeah, I could have gone berserk with the honorable mentions. I decided just to do one that was originally in my top 10 and then got booted for something else. Guillotine from the most recent album, Damned If You Do. Great. I really like their last album. I think it's really good. That's my favorite song from that album.
If you hear any background music, that's from my son playing my wife's car. I'm gonna kill him, but
don't do that. It's Mother's Day. You don't want to upset your wife.
I'm gonna hurt him,
Jack. But yeah, that's my honorable mention. It's kind of thrashy. Again, Mike Howe on vocals, really good. Rick Van Zant lead guitars, a lot of riffs from Kurt on that. Just a great song. Guillotine. If anybody's watching, you haven't listened to Damned If You Do, or the 11 album XI, those are the two most recent ones. Check them out. They're really good. Plus, there's the From the Vaults CD, which has got a couple new tracks and some live stuff and some really fun album. So there you have it, everybody.
Yeah.
So in the comments below, please put your 10 favorite Metal Church tracks. And for everybody saying, oh, rank the albums of Metal Church. Well, we said at the top of the hour, we were going to do that. I'm going to repeat it again now. We are going to do that. Give us a couple of weeks. We're going to come back and we're going to rank the catalog. I think we got, a dozen albums, or 13.
Yep. Yes, and I just ask for your patience, everybody. It's going to be a very busy May for me, so please be patient. We'll get it out there.
We'll get to it. So I want to thank Jack for coming on board here this Mother's Day. So everybody, please go out and take care of your moms and your wives, and if your daughters are mothers, take care of everybody. Give them some love today. They deserve it. They're a lot harder working in the real world than I think some of us men are. So they deserve all the credit. So visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. Of course, we're here on YouTube.
All the damn time.
That's right, all the damn time. So this will be your only program of today, but coming tomorrow, we've got Hudson Valley Squares. Tuesday in the Prague Seat. Wednesday is the What's Hot with Sea of Tranquility review show. Thursday, the Monsters Den. Friday at the Funhouse with Martin Popoff. And you'll be getting these favorite albums through the decade shows from me periodically during the week. So stay tuned and give Miley a hug for me, Jack. And for Jack Toledano, I am Pete Pardo. See you all later on. Take care.
Happy Mother's Day, everybody.